There was a lot of great stuff in the 90s that, I mean, the N64 is my absolute favorite console. I know of more good games, great games for the N64 than I know of for any other console. Um, and it just, that lasted for me longer than anything else. The first game that I ever played was Super Mario 64 for the Nintendo 64. It was, wonderful. It took me, probably because I was only 8 or so. It took me about a year to get past the first level, but it was still a whole lot of fun. And the N64 was my first console, and it was my only console for a very long time. So it was just, I know that system really well. That was my childhood, really. My favorite game of all time is actually The Secret of Monkey Island for the Commodore Amiga, which came out in 1990. It's a text and graphics adventure game. I love that game more than any just for its writing style. It's absolutely brilliant, quirky, sarcastic writing style that they used in it. I mean, it's just the best of everything in my opinion. It wasn't too late. It wasn't too commercialized. It didn't have a lot of crazy over-the-top animation. It was extremely simple. It was side-scrolling for the most part, but it didn't rely on hand-eye coordination or physical skill in that sense. It was really just clever. Current games, I find that a lot gets lost in a game when you're just trying to get a high score, or beat your personal best or whatever. There's this disconnect from the actual game. You're looking at the number go up. You're not into the game and what it is and what it stands for. I don't like first-person shooters. I do not like Call of Duty. In a first-person shooter, your vision's extremely narrow. You don't have a peripheral vision per se. You're limited to this little window. You can't see what's around you or on the sides like you can in real life. But in a third-person game, you have about the equivalent, perception around you of your surroundings that you would as if you were actually that character. I find it significantly more involving. I like games like that had artistic elements to them. They were open, yet they didn't go on forever. They weren't multiplayer. They actually had an ending and a story, and they were linear, but you still could kind of go around and do whatever you wanted, but there was still something you had to do. There was still a goal for the whole thing. What I like in a console game is that, really.